I am so excited to announce that one more time, back by popular demand, I am going to be offering my free masterclass, Thrive Beyond the 9 to 5. It's going to be October 4th. You definitely don't want to miss this opportunity. Here's what you'll learn. I will teach you and guide you on how to redefine success, how to unleash your inner power, and also design a thriving lifestyle. I get it. You want success in all the areas of your life. And we have to be intentional with how we move through our lives in order to have the success and the fulfillment. So join me October 4th. There's also the opportunity to upgrade to the VIP experience. That's a no-brainer. You definitely want to do that. It's $37. You'll get exclusive access to me at the conclusion of the masterclass, and I will do a small group coaching session, as well as you'll get a recording of the entire package. So sign up today. Link is below, and I cannot wait to see you on the inside. Welcome to the Christy Jones Show. This is your go-to podcast for living life to the fullest. I am a life and empowerment coach, speaker, and business owner in multifamily real estate. I am a woman passionate about helping others build a life that they truly desire. We'll talk about how to make the most out of every day, from setting meaningful goals to embracing the present moment. So join us as we explore the depths of living a life that is full of joy, purpose, and satisfaction. Hey, my friends, welcome back to another week of the Christy Jones Show, where, as always, it's all the things to help you live your life to the fullest. So September, we've been talking about it. We've been talking about how to reset, how to realign. I really want to encourage and offer to you to take this month to do exactly that, and then step into that last 3 months of this year feeling empowered, excited, energized, and focused. And if you're in business, you can call it Q4, the last quarter of the year. However you choose to label it, that's unique to you, whatever works for you. But I really wanted you to take this month of September and take some time to reflect and get in touch and realign, reassess. It's a perfect time of year to do that. So today's episode is unleashing your September superpowers. Lean into your strengths for success. So we all have these superpowers. We all have unique strengths, and they're unique to each of us. It's like your secret sauce, okay? It is the things that are unique to you that really almost become, they're like effortless for you in a sense. Other people are like, wow, how do you make that look so easy? And you find it very natural. It's something that comes like second nature to you. And that is your superpower. Those are the strengths that you have that you should be leaning into. And when you lean into those type of strengths, those natural, superpower strengths of yours, that is going to guide you to accomplish your goals, to be more, just to have more success in that area. And you're going to be able to achieve it not only this month, but beyond. The more that you lean into your unique strengths. So I'm going to have 4 talking points that I'm going to touch on today. And we're going to talk about how do we recognize our unique strengths, and then how we lean into them and why we want to lean into them. Also strategies on how you're going to amplify those, how you're going to, kind of beef up that superpower a little bit. And then why your superpowers, your unique superpowers, are really going to help you create your action plan moving forward. So, all right, here's where self-awareness really comes into play. The more self-aware you are, then the more you already know what your unique strengths are. And I'm going to give you a list just to kind of jog your brain a little bit, and if you're thinking, well, I don't know what my superhero strengths are. I'm going to give you a list for you to think about while you're listening to this episode, and see if any of these resonate with you. Probably you'll have more than one. It's very common that several of these are going to be strong areas for you. But self-awareness is everything, because you know what you kind of naturally gravitate to and what you feel confident in, quite honestly. And when you do good at something, we feel confident in it, right? When we aren't as good at it, a lot of self-doubt sets in. Sometimes we are very critical. Then our confidence kind of wavers. So it's really like a no-brainer. If you're good at it, you've had success at it, then you feel strong in it. If it's something that you've struggled with, especially if it's been like a long-term struggle, then you're kind of on shaky ground. You don't consider that a strength for yourself. So in September, what I'm encouraging to do, just to be clear, is I'm encouraging you to lean into what I'm calling your superpowers, your unique strengths. And by leaning into your unique strengths, it's going to give you that push of momentum as you go into October, November, and December, so that you stay on task and that you are accomplishing your goals and that you're feeling that progress happen and you're building that momentum. Everything is about building momentum, my friend. Building momentum gets us to that finish line. It gets us moving forward. And when you're not building momentum, it is so easy to stall out. All right. So let me just go over this list. I wrote a few things down before I jumped on to record this episode. So here's some examples of unique strengths. So as I'm reading through these, think about which one or several of these apply to you. Adaptability. I'm describing adaptability as the ability to thrive in diverse and changing situations, making you highly resilient and resourceful. Number 2, another unique strength, empathy, a strong capacity to understand and share the feelings of others, making you an excellent team player and also an excellent leader. Unique strength number 3, strategic thinking, the skill to visualize and plan for the future, enabling you to make informed decisions and solve complex problems. The next one, creativity, the talent for thinking, you've heard the saying, thinking outside the box, generating new, creative, innovative ideas, and finding unique solutions to challenges. Next on the list of unique strengths, I've written down leadership. Leadership, I describe as the ability to motivate, to inspire, and guide others, making you an effective leader in both teams and in projects. How about persistence? That is definitely a strength. It is a tenacious attitude to keep going despite obstacles, ensuring you reach your goals through dedication and perseverance. And last on my list of unique strengths was analytical skills. That is the proficiency in analyzing data, analyzing information, and taking that and turning that into meaningful insights, aiding to help you make informed decisions, and also aiding you in problem solving. So that's the list I came up with, and there's more outside of that. But for today's conversation, that's the list that I came up with to say, hey, do any of those like resonate with you when I go over some of those unique strengths? I'll be honest, for me, when I was making this list, I already know my superpower: adaptability, 100%, persistence, and leadership. Definitely those come very, very natural, I feel very good in each of those areas. And when I'm leaning into that, it just gets momentum going even faster. One's not better than the other. So when you identify with maybe one that I've given on the list, don't be like, oh my gosh, well, what does this mean? I wish I was the other one. No, that's the cool thing, you guys, that these are your superpowers. Your unique strength is totally unique to you. And even if you're someone that's like, yeah, me too. I would say adaptability and persistence is my strength. But you and I, because we're different individuals, we're each going to, exhibit that in a unique way, because it's with our own body language, our own voice, our own mannerisms, our own way of thinking, our own outlook, right? So there's going to be no two of the same. So with that, once you get to a point where you can say, yeah, I think I know which ones are my unique strengths. So the second part, point 2 I want to make today is I want you to lean into it. So identify what your unique strength, your September superpower is, and then I want you to lean into it. I want you to go all in. I don't want you to just, halfway, kind of lean in. I want you to go all the way in. Lean into your unique strength, because that's something that comes very natural to you. So you won't hesitate as much when you're operating from that space. And so it's really, it's just important for you to lean in to your strengths so you can enhance your productivity. And like I said, this month, I've been talking about how are we building momentum? How are we realigning? How are we resetting as we go into the next 3 months, October, November, December? So the more that you can lean in to what your unique strength is, the more momentum you're going to build and the more progress you're going to make towards your goals. So after that, my third point, let's talk about strategies to really amplify, to beef up, to boost your strengths. So how do you boost them up? How do you amplify them? Well, just like with anything, practice, 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 practice. So you want to apply them. You want to put yourself in situations, volunteer for tasks at work, projects, whatever, that align with what your superpowers are. And when you do that, now you're matching your strengths, your superpowers with a potential project, a task, and that's where you're going to really gain some traction. You're going to really amplify your strengths. Another way to really beef that up and amplify your strengths is to seek out a mentor, somebody that is a little further along in the path than you, and that can oftentimes shares a similar set of strengths as you. So you can learn and they can pour into you because they're a little more advanced into their superpowers. So do not shy away from opportunities that come up in your life to have a mentor. Mentors, sometimes they are for a short period of times. Other times you can have a lifelong mentor. You can have, it can be beneficial is what I want to say, whether it's short-term or long-term, but be open to that, because there's something to be said, to be able to learn through the experiences of someone else. They're going to save you time. They're going to show you the loopholes, the things that they already took the hits for. They will show you the better way. A really good mentor wants to show you the better way, the way that is going to get you from point A to point B, your goal, whatever it is you're working towards. A mentor is going to help you get there and teach you and coach you and pour into you. So if you have the opportunity to have a mentor, I really encourage it. It is so, so valuable. The next point I want to make when it comes to our September superpowers is to build an action plan this month. This month, build an action plan. How are you going to lean into your strengths from now till the end of the month? How are you going to lean into those so it is going to align with some goals that you have for before the end of the year? So I'd like you to focus on, more of the shorter term between now, over the next 3 months, 3.5 months. Because it's great to have long-term goals, but if we can have some traction and some wins and some successes early, that builds the momentum. And you're still working towards that long-term goal, but it's really great to be making some headway in this next 3 months. It's going to do so much to your strengthening your own superpowers. Basically, then you go into the next year freaking unstoppable, basically, because you will be on fire because you're making so much progress. So this conversation's a little bit of an extension off of last week's. I talked about goal setting. And so this is just a little bit deeper way of, hey, Christy, when someone said, hey, talk about goal setting. And I touched on that last week episode, I believe it was 30. And in 31, what I'm doing is really encouraging you to identify your superpowers. Be confident in what those are. Know what those are. Lean into those. As you lean into your strengths, it is going to build momentum and get you going so that you're making traction, you're making progress, you're getting closer, and you're developing your strength even more. So those are the points that I wanted to bring to you today when it comes to goal setting, when it comes to September superpowers and leaning into your strengths. Identify them, lean into them, how to amplify them, practice, 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 and then set some goals. Let's get an action plan. How can your strengths, your superpowers, how do those line up with your action plan? So, and let me toss this in there. I didn't plan on going into this, but let me just toss this in before we close. When you're making your action plan, sometimes you start with the end and you work backwards. So I describe it as you basically you work backwards. Here's your action plan. What is the end result that you're looking for? Okay, now let's break that down and say your result you're hoping to get in December. So work backwards. So what do you need to have accomplished by December 1st? And then back up to November 15th. Create your action plan instead of today moving forward, which is a great way to do it as well. But let me offer you this. Go to the end spot and then build your action plan building backwards. So end plan and then stair step it to decide what steps you need to take or have completed and work from the end plan up to current today. So sometimes that is a really helpful way, because when you're here and you're trying to move forward, sometimes we get stuck and we get a little overwhelmed. So start with the end game. What is the goal? What is it that you're shooting for? And now build it backwards up to today. And you got to write this stuff down. Don't try to walk around and keep all of this in your head, because we have so much going on in our brains, and our brains are tricky things. So you want to write it down. It can be on a piece of paper. It can be in your phone. You can type it on your computer. The main thing is you need to have it in a format where it's out of your brain and your eyes can look at it. And I don't care how you do that. If you write it, type it, put it in your notes on your phone, whatever works for you, but you have to give it life. When we give it life, then we're putting it in motion. When we're just holding it in our head and wishing for it and holding it inside, that's generally where it stays. When you start actually getting it out in the world, first step is getting it on paper, getting it in notes on your phone, typing it out on your laptop, putting it in your journal, whatever works for you. But you have to get it out so then your eyes can look at it on a consistent basis. And then you start your strategy to build your action plan. All right. Well, I hope that this has been helpful and useful as you reset, realign, and just reignite this month of September. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Please rate, review the podcast, share with a friend, tag a friend, share it on your social media. I so appreciate you guys spending this time with me. I do not take it lightly that you're taking time out of your day to hang out with me here on the podcast. And I really appreciate that. So I appreciate all the love. All right, go make the rest of your week fabulous, and I will see you soon.